Welcome back, folks. It's another great day here on Valiant Renegade. Make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell. Share this sucker out on the social medias. And do leave a comment before you head out today. Because this is where Hollywood comes to get put through the business and financial lens of reality. It's time. Renegade Online. Oh, welcome back. It's been a spell. Oh, it was so weird not doing live shows for like 10 days. But that's what happened. Last time we had a Renegade Nation show, I think, did I do one that same Sunday night I did the main show before I left for Orlando? I think I did. We had our first return on the main channel on Valiant Renegade, the main channel, where we cover the side of things that from the Hollywood standpoint, the entertainment industry standpoint. Not muted. I know, right? It's crazy. I guess I was paying attention tonight, but I think we did a Renegade Nation show that Sunday, and then that Wednesday I went out of town. Wednesday a week ago, like last Wednesday. Came back Monday, so I missed the Wednesday show last week. I missed the Sunday show last week. Didn't have a Thursday show for Renegade Nation because we were actually in, for those of you that watch this channel may not watch the main channel, which is fine and great because that's why we're here, to kind of build a different audience talking different things. I was out in Universal Studios Orlando for Halloween Horror Nights with Renegade Jr. He had not been back to the park since he was like 5 or 6. So last time he went, he wasn't big enough to ride anything. So we went this time. He had 2 days off of school late last week, so we took an extended weekend, which precluded me from reasonably being able to do live streams. There's no way I can stop and do that in a park. I tried to do a car stream driving home Monday. We all know that didn't go too well if you were watching on the main channel. Connectivity issues, but just kind of sat and gave my thoughts on the park for about an hour while I was in the car. Any case, it is good to be back here. And no, Ron is not with us tonight. He has a house that is absolutely jam-packed full of people. All family members, not illegals. Trust me. So, no, he is, there's obviously a big Jewish holiday going on right now. Please don't ask me which one it is because there's like 57 Jewish holidays every other Tuesday. So I can't remember which one this is. Ron will probably chew me out for it tomorrow, but he is very busy with a lot of family over right now, so he couldn't make it tonight. But, and I know, Marcus, you were like, wait, did you get Brandon Herrera? That would be cool. But no, it's not Brandon Herrera. It's somebody that is a whole hell of a lot cuter than Brandon and Ron. Dani Ann is back joining us. How are you?
I'm doing great. That was a beautiful intro. Thank you.
I try. I gotta get my headphones on now.
Almost on par with Ron, it sounds like. So I'll take it.
So we haven't had much of a chance to catch up since. How's the new Bambino?
Oh, he's so cute. I'm so in love. Today I got to actually take him to Costco, and I was stopped everywhere, and they were like, oh, that's so precious, because he just falls asleep. He gets overwhelmed. He falls asleep. And so I'm walking around Costco, and everybody's like, oh, he's so cute. He's so cute. And I go, I know he is. And it's so funny. He's so huge. Everybody always thinks he's like 6 months, a year old. He's 25 inches long and weighs 15 and a half pounds now. I think he weighs maybe 16 pounds this week. So he's a big guy. But he is just the biggest cuddler, so smart. We're trying elimination communication. Have you ever heard of that?
Elimination communication. No.
I know. It sounds like some woo-woo, crunchy mom influencer kind of bull crap. It works. It absolutely works.
Wine
Like the
Moms of
baby,
Beverly Hills presents parenting tips. No,
it's
what is it?
exactly what it sounds like. So the baby lets you know when it has to go, and you just let it go on the toilet, and it works. I don't know how it works, but it works. It should be called the trust game. It is a dangerous game to play because you allow your baby to let you know when it needs to go to the restroom, but it works.
Interesting.
So
So like
life is going great.
how does a newborn indicate this?
Okay, so this is where I think
Usually
it
the
really
indication is after it's happened. Has been
right,
my
right.
experience with 3 kids.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that it depends on 2 factors that nobody talks about. One, being lucky enough to have a kid that knows when they're going number 1 or 2, and having a kid that indicates it. So he has, since the day he was born, grunt. Every time he goes to the restroom, he grunts, which is so cute. And and he like wants my help. So like I'll set him up like in a squatty potty position and he'll grunt to go to the restroom. And then he wiggles when he has to go number 1. The second factor is if you're breastfeeding, you tend to be a little bit more honed in on those cues and notice them more than usual, more than most parents would, because they're so slight. But if you're breastfeeding and you have your baby wiggling off your boob and then crying because he doesn't understand why you took away his nipple, even though you didn't, it's right there. You can just latch on again. It's fine. You know, that's it. That's its own journey. Breastfeeding is its own journey. No one warned me that you like I thought it would be natural and beautiful. You put the baby to your breast and they would immediately latch on and drink milk. No, it's not like that at all. And anyone who tells you that it is lying. They are lying to you. It's like you have to squish your boob into a sub and force feed it to your baby because they don't know what the hell you're doing. All they know is there's this giant thing coming at them, and they're like, ah. So
I did not have breastfeeding with Dani Ann on my bingo card for opening the show tonight, but I'm
I'm
sure the
so
chat got a
sorry.
kick. No, it's fine. It was great. It's a perfect little funny comedic. No, look, it's bringing back memories because I remember when Mrs. Renegade went through it with 3 kids, and you're totally right. I mean, I wasn't personally doing it. Okay, just to be clear, it wasn't me. I wasn't breastfeeding the kids. It wasn't a weird thing. I know that probably happens today with a lot of people, with men.
Ugh.
But yeah. Well, they can have periods now, Dani. But no,
Stop.
I remember. I
Test
remember.
test
I
feeding
remember.
people.
Yeah, I remember the similar issues. Where you would try to, and it's not always as simple as all that in the beginning.
No.
I remember Mrs. Renegade going through it.
It is battle of the boob every morning. So, other than that, it's great. I absolutely love being a mom.
Uh,
Fantastic.
I thought what might be, since you got here at the outset of the show, because this story is just too funny. Speaking of boobs, can we talk about the boob that's running for governor in California? Have you seen this one?
Oh, she's such a can I say the
Oh,
B word?
yeah, we can say bitch.
She's
I think bitch
such
is
a
fine.
bitch.
Yeah,
Oh, Lord.
this is Katie Porter. If y'all have not seen this, because I thought like this has to be a meme, right? There's no way this is real. It's real, and there's been more videos dropping from this woman doing the same thing during interviews and cameras for the last couple of years. She is considered right now the leading candidate for governor in the state of California to replace Gavin Newsom when he's termed out, I think next year. So, and this was an interview with a CBS reporter, and this is just it's bizarre, the reaction, and you think, well, maybe she was having a bad day. Well, let's take a listen, everybody. Let me show you what I'm talking about here.
What do you say to the 40% of California voters who you'll need in order to win, who voted for Trump?
How would I need them in order to win, ma'am?
Well, unless you think.
I mean, I ain't gonna make any jokes about the way she looks here, and especially in that lighting. It's so weird.
One of her staffers hates her. One of her staffers is getting revenge. They're like, oh, yeah, the lighting is perfect.
Yeah, well, it's funny you say that because there is another video of her just going off about the terrible lighting again in another interview. It's
gosh.
so it's so bad. So again, the question was, what would you say to the 40% of California voters who supported Donald Trump in the last election? That you may need them to win. Because again, she's not the only person running here. She's going to have to pick up some votes in the primary and in the general that aren't necessarily Democrat if you're going to have multiple people. And I don't recall or know if California does like a general or they have a runoff system where they primary and they have one Democrat, one Republican. I don't think they do, because the question seems to arise about, it may not be a Republican. But anyway, point being is that she's asking a simple question that apparently she asked to all the candidates, and again, right off the bat, and you're going to find out
this angle too. It's not doing her any favors.
No, this is so. It's
Milo
so bad.
Yiannopoulos, he commented, he said, she's strong like a mountain. I think that's the nicest thing I've ever heard Milo say about anyone.
I know there's a few injuries on the offensive line for the Bengals right now. So I'm sorry.
For Trump.
How would I need them in order to win, man?
Well, unless you think you're going to get 60% of the vote.
Look at her. Look at how she's like, why would I need them to win? Like she's trying to do an Eddie Murphy camera take with this.
You think you'll get 60%? Everybody who did not vote for Trump will vote for you. That's what you're saying.
In a general election? Yes.
That's ballsy. I mean, somebody's got some confidence.
If it is me versus a Republican, I think that I will win the people who did not vote for Trump.
What if it's you versus another Democrat?
I don't intend that to be the case.
Sorry? It's California. The chances are there's going to be two Democrats at the end of the day fighting out the top spot. What do you mean I don't intend that to happen? Are you going to go Clinton on the other candidates out there? Are they going to suddenly start, are we going to find one of them in a forest with a pistol 10 feet away?
Did they shoot themselves in the back of the head 19 times? Worst case we've seen.
What is she?
So how do you not intend that to be the case? Are you going to ask them not to run?
No, I'm saying I'm going to build the support. I have the support already in terms of name recognition. And so I'm going to do the very best I can to make sure that we get through this primary in a really strong position. But let me be clear with you. I represented Orange County. I represented a purple area. I have stood on my own 2 feet and won Republican votes before. That's not something every candidate in this race can say. If you're from a deep blue area, if you're from LA or you're from Oakland.
Wait, sorry, Dani, what's that?
Orange County isn't purple anymore. It is really bright pink. I was really impressed during COVID. We went down there and it was the only place without restrictions. Everywhere else in California, there were people standing in bus lines wearing 3 or 4 masks. It was only there that you could breathe fresh air and relax. So I don't see Orange County going back to the Dems, hook, line, and sinker for a while now.
Or at least not in the margins that they were used to enjoying for so many years. I mean, right. Mark Mitchell, our friend from Rasmussen, who's been on the show a number of times here and on the main channel more often, but he talked about this in the 24 general election, the presidential election, where you saw this massive shift to the right, like almost the whole country. And when you saw places like California closer than they had ever been, New York closer than it has ever been, New Jersey. I mean, people were talking about how, the Democrats could take Texas, and somebody pointed out, you realize that the margin of victory for Kamala Harris in New York was less than Trump's margin of victory in Texas or something like that. Or it was more, it was like New York was tighter than Texas. I mean, going the other way. So it's you see a lot of this, and Orange County, I've heard that over the years, that's one of those places that has been gradually drifting to the right.
I just don't get it. She has no political talent. She has nothing to look at that's enjoyable to look at. She's just grating as a personality. If anything, she's proof that if you have a mad amount of confidence, you can actually do anything in the world. A little bit of psychopathy and a mad amount of confidence. I'll be right back. Baby's crying.
Go ahead. Renegade Junior's out there. Is that the Scottish ant from the Medea movie? I think he's talking about what was it? Family Reunion. It's the famous comedian. It's the guy that plays the old British Scottish lady. I know who he's talking about. I can't think of the actor's name right now. Somebody in the chat help me out. Dani will be right back. But yeah, somebody said Mrs. Doubtfire. Oh, good Lord. Let me grab some super chats here while Dani is taking care of mom stuff. Packing protons for 5. Trump having free reign during the shutdown, it seems. Dems love helping him out. Oh, yeah. We're going to talk about the stuff in Portland, Chicago. We'll talk about some of that. You got Letitia James that has been formally indicted. I want to talk about some of the particulars on that one as well. Because, again, the left is going to try to make this trap comparison of how this is, going after Tish James is the weaponization of justice. That's lawfare. What they did to Trump wasn't. Again, don't ever let facts get in the way of stupidity when it comes to Democrats. They're good at this. We'll talk about that there in a little bit. Tennessee tornado for $5. Neither side wants to take credit for the shutdown, which is tough for me because I don't know who gets my thank you round of drinks. Damn right. Marcus Quintus for 10. So President Trump has gotten a deal done with Israel and Gaza. Yes, we're going to talk about that tonight as well a little bit. To come to terms and release the hostages and end the war. That is what I voted for, and we keep on winning. Someone should get a peace prize. Yeah, he should have gotten a peace prize for the Abraham Accords. What was that, 5 years ago now? 6 years ago? Whenever that was? No, because it was Trump. Tennessee tornado for 2 became a nation treasurer member. I love how you guys, because we don't have membership set up yet, so the guys in my chat are inventing their own membership levels. I'm all for it. This is great. I know we're going to have to eventually do this. I don't think I'm going to go multi-tier here. I think we'll just kind of keep it simple, like the $5 thing or whatever. I think that's what most people do. As opposed to like on the main channel, we have that tiered membership. So I think we'll keep it simple here. Tennessee for 2, gifted a citizen membership. They're making up memberships on my channel, Dani, since we don't have them yet. So
service equals citizenship.
That's it.
Everybody donate, and you can also be a citizen.
That's right. Service equals citizenship. It's been a while since I watched Starship Troopers. I got to go back and watch that again. Marcus Quintus for 10 became a Nation Guardian member. Because that's not a bad idea. I like that one. Marcus Quintus gifted 5 citizen memberships for $10. Thank you, Marcus. Nom de Plume says first. And Marcus for 5, only because VR didn't start the goal sooner. I know. I thought about that as like I don't think I've set goals in a live stream for like a month, and I just started realizing at the end I was like, shoot, I need to do that again because YouTube really wants you to do this. They have all kind of new things now I've got to look at to see what they want us to do. Marcus for 2, remember, if he doesn't F this up, he is a professional YouTuber. No, still not a YouTuber. Still, and certainly not professional. I'm a very unprofessional, not a YouTuber. So we're going to leave it there. Okay, so let me get back into this. So we've got old crazy eyes here. Cut back in.
That we get through this primary in a really strong position. But let me be clear with you. I represented Orange County. I represented a purple area. I have stood on my own 2 feet and won Republican votes before. That's not something every candidate in this race can say. If you're from a deep blue area, if you're from LA or you're from Oakland, you don't have an experience.
But you just said you don't need those Trump voters.
Well, you asked me if I needed them to win.
So you don't think
I feel like this is unnecessarily argumentative. What is your question?
The question is the same thing I asked everybody, that this is being called the empowering voters to stop Trump's power grab. Every other candidate has answered this question. This is not
correct. And I said I support it.
So, and the question is, what do you say to the 40% of voters who voted for Trump?
Oh, I'm happy to say that. It's the do you need them to win part that I don't understand. I'm happy to answer the question as you have it written, and I'll answer it.
And we've also asked the other candidates, do you think you need any of those 40% of California voters to win? And you're saying, no, you don't.
Dani, I think you're still muted.
No, I'm just, my mouth's open. I'm sorry.
That's all right. I just wanted to make sure.
The
I know,
audacity is just stunning.
yeah. How dare you ask me such a stupid? I mean, she is on a major CBS affiliate in California. This is going to be seen by everybody in the state.
Candidate should be grateful to be getting airtime, grateful to be asked questions. And this is a softball question. The answer is either yes or no. It's that simple. Yes, I feel like I want or no, I don't believe I need the Republican vote to win. I hope though that I can be the candidate that they want to vote for too, because I represent all constituents in my district. That's an easy answer. Easy question, easy answer. I'm so lost as to why she's upset. I don't get it. I hate to say this, but is she premenopausal? Like, did she forget to take some meds this morning?
You said it, not me.
What
I don't
the
know.
problem is.
I don't know. I don't know.
No, I'm saying I'm going to try to win every vote I can. And what I'm saying to you is that.
Well, to those voters. Okay, so you.
I don't want to keep doing this. I'm going to call it. Okay. Thank you.
Rage quits.
You're not going to do the interview.
You know what? I don't want to do this. I'm going to call it. Starts pulling the microphone off. It's just like, holy crap.
You know what it is? It's someone who has been political royalty. This is what's happened is our politicians are so far removed from their constituents that once they've been in once, they have a hard time relating to people and being a normal person after that, because they've been somewhat sheltered by security teams and their own staffers and, yes men who just follow them everywhere they go. I think that's really what happens. And it happens on a local level. I've noticed too. This interview is no different than our DA. Our local Salt Lake County DA refuses to meet with Wendy Halloran, an investigative reporter for KUTV. She won multiple Emmys for her work. He refuses to meet with her because she asks questions.
Right.
That's it. That's all she does. She doesn't blow sunshine up his ass. And so he refuses to talk to her. This is happening nationwide. And we really do need to hold our politicians accountable. If she wins, though, you know what? Y'all get what you deserve. I have nothing better to say than that.
Yeah, I got to skip ahead to the super chat. Thank you, Sean. Katie Porter needs Hassan's dog shot collar to it. Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
So wrong. Oh, but it's so right. Oh, God. Well, I have the clip. If you don't, he is a POS YouTuber, Twitcher. Yeah, I know. Well, a lot of the audience probably hasn't, but it had been rumored for a while. I'll show it later, but yeah, he keeps his dog in frame and tame in the camera shot. He slipped up and did it on a stream. He zapped him with a shock collar when the dog tried to move again. You hear the dog yelp and then sit back down. Oh, it was so bad. It was so bad.
Well, and the worst part is the dog is trying to obey too. Like you see the dog start to obey as soon as he turns and goes, Maya or whatever her name is. The dog turns around and quickly tries to get back up on its place, and he zaps her. And I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Yep. So yeah, here we go. She rage quits on this. She doesn't like the question, and instead of just trying to answer it, and she gets in this weird defensive mode. Like, I don't need these people. Who needs these people? It's actually technically worse than Mitt Romney's moment back in 2012, where he said, and this was at a private event, where he said something to the effect of, well, what was it, like, 47% of the people are never going to vote for me anyway, so we don't worry about them, right?
Which
I
is
understand.
accurate.
It is accurate, right? He said something accurate, but they hung that around his neck like an albatross for the rest of the campaign. This is even... She just flat out, she doesn't say that I'm not going to get them or whatever. She just says, I don't need them. I don't care. It's just straight up say she does not care about those voters.
So ask the other candidates, do you think you need any of those 40% of California voters to win? And you're saying, no, you don't.
No, I'm saying I'm going to try to win every vote I can. And what I'm saying to you is that...
Backpedaling.
Well, to those voters. Okay, so you...
I don't want to keep doing this. I'm going to call it. Thank you.
so bad.
You're
I don't
not
like
going to
doing
do
this.
the interview with us.
Nope, not like this. I'm not. Not with 7 follow-ups to every single question you ask.
Every other candidate has answered
I don't
our
care.
follow-ups.
I don't care. I want to have a pleasant, positive conversation in which you ask me about every issue on this list. And if every question you're going to make up a follow-up question, then we're never going to get there.
Ms.
And we're
Porter,
just going to circle around.
I am an
I have
investigative
never had to do
reporter.
this before, ever.
You've never had to have a
end an
conversation
interview.
with
To end
a
an
reporter?
interview.
Okay, but every other candidate has
Sadly,
done
I
this.
believe her.
What part of
Yeah, no, say it again.
Sadly, I believe her. I actually
Yes.
believe she's never been asked questions. I actually believe she's never been investigated. I actually believe that she's never been tested in her life, as a matter of fact. I don't think that I think this woman's ego is so fragile. She has never had to defend herself ever. I think she has put on the Karen persona and marched her way into every room, and that has been enough. I think her showing up and saying, I am a woman, has been enough for her entire political career. That's it. I'm a woman and I support LGBTQAID, causes, and I support everyone in my district. And I support, like, she just knows how to parrot party lines, and that's enough
it.
for her. She's never had to think through a single position she's held.
No. And I mean, her attitude is, well, I'm not going to do this. Well, I'm not going to do that. Well, it's like, well, you're not going to be governor. But then again, it is California. And the voters there, unfortunately, at least the majority of them, don't seem to be able to ever elect proper governance.
It's crazy to me that this is the clip that's gone viral. What about the clip of her saying that PDF files are a sexual orientation that need to be protected or at least understood?
I was trying to find. I know I heard about that one.
I'll find the clip and I'll send it to you.
Okay, perfect. We've got like 30 seconds left on this one because again, she's just decided that, hey, I'm done. I want to leave.
Okay, but every other candidate has done this.
what part of I'm me? I'm running for governor because I'm a leader. So I am going to make.
So you're not going to answer questions from reporters? Okay, why don't we go through? I will continue to ask follow-up questions because that's my job as a journalist, but I will go through and ask these. And if you don't want to answer, you don't want to answer. So nearly every legislative.
I don't want to have an unhappy experience with you. And I don't want this all on camera.
I don't want to have an unhappy experience with you either. I would love to continue to ask these questions so that we can show our viewers what every candidate feels about every one of these issues that they care about. And redistricting is a massive issue. We're going to do an entire story just on the responses to that question. And I've asked everybody the same follow-up questions. What do you say to the...
I'm sorry. I just don't want this to be an unhappy experience. Like, what? How are you going to run a state if you're going to run and hide from every unhappy? She's going to have a lot of unhappy experiences as an elected official at that level, at any level. I mean, I don't know much about this woman except when this plunked down and I'm sure, look, right now, because this video got leaked, I guarantee you she's got lawyers trying to find a way to sue that reporter in CBS right now for putting this out there. And apparently she has a history of this sort of behavior. Incredibly.
But the media has been complicit in allowing it to happen. And they're just now starting to realize, wait a second, we need to put forward actual candidates. We can't just keep, coasting on our laurels. We can't keep cheating in elections. We can't keep pretending like, oh, sorry, I didn't say that. We can't keep pretending like everything is great and kumbaya. Just for comparison, my opponent, whenever he was interviewed, because he could just throw a fit and say, I'm never going to take an interview from you, reporter, again, right? Mm-hmm. When he was interviewed, they were all softball questions. He felt safe, and he got the questions in advance before the reporters would come to speak with him. I asked for the same courtesy. Of course, I was not extended said courtesy. So what I had to do as a Republican candidate is I had to tell them, I will bring my own film crew. Mm-hmm. I'm fine doing the interview, but just know that I will be publishing the entirety of our interview online.
Right.
So that I'm not taken out of context.
Right, because that's the biggest problem these days with a lot of news organizations, especially if you're on the wrong side of the political aisle from what they
Oh,
want.
Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk is the victim of being clipped out of context.
Oh,
He
big
is,
time.
and he's the exact victim of that. And so I learned from him, from other politicians, the only way you're going to get a fair shake with reporters is to say, I will release the entire interview if you're not fair. And my viewers will get to see it. The constituents will get to see the way that you've treated me in an interview. You know what I think happened here? I think this nice, pretty blonde lady, investigative reporter, competent, confident, sat across from her, shook her hand, was wearing a very shiny cross, and it just, I think it threw her. I think she wasn't prepared for that. I think she felt threatened the minute that woman sat down to interview her. And she started getting defensive unnecessarily.
I think you may well be right. I want to show you, and we had. I'm going to get to some of these super chats in just a second because I was about to pull this up. I'm going to jump ahead here to Michael K for $5. KP talking about Katie Porter, notorious for being one of the most abusive bosses on Capitol Hill. Her former staffers have been releasing other embarrassing videos. Yes, indeed. They have. And here's one right now. This is what we're talking about. And we don't need, you don't really need to play the whole thing. They're doing she's on Zoom. She's doing this thing or something like that where she's recording this. You know, they're throwing a question at her and she's going to fire back a canned response and they're going to edit it and put it together. So this thing is going on while she's got one of her staffers in the background.
People really could benefit from an extra $632 in their pocket. And it's also not just the individual savings, but it's also the total savings for our economy. So I'm on the oversight committee, you might know, and that is where we did a study recently this fall in September. And what it showed is if we don't electrify our transportation sector, that we're going to lose more than 500,000 Californians dying prematurely to air pollution and other problems. And the state could lose. Get out of my fucking shot.
I wanted to tell you that that's actually incorrect. It's not that it's electric vehicles. It's that if we don't meet the commitments under the Paris Climate Accord. Okay, it does. Okay, you also were in my shot before that. Stay out of my shot.
We're doing it live. Fuck it. it's like Bill O'Reilly.
Kaya, go back to your spot. Why are you such a baby?
I mean, she snaps that quickly, like on camera, and her staffer probably didn't even know she was in the shot. And look, I mean, she's got like all kind of junk behind her anyway. But I mean,
Californians dying prematurely.
Watch how fast she goes. Air pollution
and other problems, and the state could lose. Get out of my fucking shot.
I wanted to tell you that that's actually incorrect.
And she's there to, okay, well, I was just going to tell you everything you just said was wrong. So here's the real answer that you need to deliver. It's like, just, oh, God.
Do we know what year this clip is?
I think this was 2021.
Oh, okay. That's why she's making her staffer wear a mask.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
This was
in her own house.
Yeah. This is it. This is from Colin Rugg, put this out. Meeting was in July of 2021 between Porter and then Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm, according to Politico. So they were she was having a meeting with the Energy Secretary. They're recording something. I don't know. And this was in the middle of that. Get out of my shot.
Get out of my fucking shot.
It's like unbelievable. I think there's going to be a lot more of these that come out. I think that's inevitable. And I know there was another, no, that's the same one.
She's as much a leader as Hassan is a dog trainer.
Oh yeah. This was this was one of the weirdest freaking things. This was on whatever station this was, CNN, MSNBC, God knows one of them. So there was this clip from, I think this was within the last year. Yeah. It's within the last few months, as a matter of fact. I don't know if you've seen this one. This is one of the weirdest answers. And she uses words probably going to get me a letter on YouTube, but hell with it.
So on election night, I went to pick up my daughter from water polo practice, and she's 12, and she got in the car and she was crying. And I
You got all your kids on the water polo team too?
said, did someone punch you? Like, water polo is a rough sport. I was like, did someone hit you? Did the coach yell at you? What happened? And she...
Oh no, it's a local broadcast.
Did you just hear my baby chuckle, by the way?
I thought I heard something.
The mic picked that up. That was the first time I've ever seen my baby chuckle. He's asleep, but whatever you said made him laugh in his sleep.
Watch Katie Porter. No, that didn't do it. He'd probably cry if I said it again.
I was like, did someone hit you? Did the coach yell at you? What happened? And she said, so on election night, I went to pick up my daughter from water polo practice, and she's 12, and she got in the car and she was crying. And I said, did someone punch you? Like, water polo is a rough sport. I was like, did someone hit you? Did the coach yell at you? What happened? And she said, Mom, Trump won. Trump's going to win. And what if I get raped and I need to have an abortion?
Bruh.
500 for things that never happened. 1.
Bruh.
2. Why would you make up this story? What? Like, is she scrolling Reddit? She's got to be a huge Redditor. Like,
Yes,
that's what I'm
that's gotta
guessing.
be.
She's scrolling Reddit every
So
night.
there
That's
is
what I'm going to
no-
blame this on.
The only way any 12-year-old would come up with such a wild frickin' response. Oh, I was crying all day because Trump's going to win tonight. And what if I have to get an abortion after I was raped? Okay, YouTube, whatever. I didn't say it. She said it. Yeah, that doesn't happen unless you have pre-programmed that into your 12-year-old's brain. Like, that's not a normal thought process for a 12-year-old girl unless, thinking about what if I have to get. And I'm just like, oh, this is so stupid.
This is from a 12-year-old, my 12-year-old daughter.
Yeah, I seriously doubt that.
And so it was really a reminder of how scary this time is for people, and how important it is for Democrats to have strategies, both at the state level and the federal level, to make sure that we can continue to protect people's rights.
It's just so much wow. Like, this woman is legit crazy.
This is what I mean. She's never had hardship. This is what I'm talking about. She has no examples. She has nothing to lean on to say, this is why we need to do this. She has no motivation. She had to make up a story about her 12-year-old daughter saying that, oh, I might get raped and then I need an abortion. This never happened. This never happened.
And nobody pushed back on her. Like, my reaction, if I'd have been sitting there, I would bullshit.
Absolutely.
I'd have been like, no, bullshit.
No.
Get your kid out here.
Both of these guys know it's bullshit, but they're not. They're they're puppets. They're just Muppets. They're there chuckling and then going, oh shit. As soon as she goes into the, oh yeah, my daughter said this. Oh.
I cannot get over the stupid, the absolute unmitigated stupid. And here is another one. I've got to switch, and there's going to be more. I think this is going to be, I think this is going to become one of the most fascinating races to watch that otherwise nobody in 49 other states would give a flip about. Is going to be the California governor race. So you mentioned lighting earlier. Here's another one. California Democratic gubernatorial candidate complained that the lights were killing me during a Zoom call.
I have not seen this. I've got to see this.
Now, she wasn't as snappy in this one as some of the other ones. Yeah, I think it's this one right here. I got to just back it up. I did this so I could. Oh no, that's the other one.
I mean, there's such a variety of options to show the public.
It might be this top one. I've got to get through the ad. So, any case, well, that's the ad's running. Yeah, it's like it doesn't end with her, and I think she is just going to become an absolute gem of sound bites for the foreseeable future. I mean, unless her candidacy utterly collapses after this, I don't know. In California, maybe it makes her more popular. Oh no, it must have buffered up to a.
I mean, Ilhan Omar is still in office, despite her many, 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 not just missteps or gaffes, like straight up. How could anyone say that even in private?
Yeah.
She's still in office. The candidate who sent out those violent texts about offing an opponent's kids.
Yeah.
He still hasn't stepped down, and he's still running. He's still running.
No, you only have to step down if you were a Republican in that case. And I think that's
Right.
what people are getting frustrated, or at least the people on the left are getting frustrated now, because that's changing, and they don't like that that's changing. It's like all these people at these Antifa protest riots out there. Oh my God, we're in the Nazi state because the police are arresting us because you're assaulting them. That's kind of how it works. But the problem is they've been allowed to just get away with it for so long, and it's people like Katie Porter that just, like you said, they never have been challenged. Now they're being challenged and they don't like it. So this is the
Sure. The floor is yours.
Oh, yes. This is why I didn't want to I need the lights off, the bright lights. I'm so sorry, but I am about to get on. Bernard, I need you to turn these off. These that are killing me. Hang on 1 second, everybody.
No, we should put the computer up on it.
Yes, yes, we should have. Yes. Okay, everybody.
Yeah.
I'm not that dark.
That's too dark.
I
Just a minute.
Oh my gosh.
she's I mean, the pattern, if it was one thing or something like that, you could say, okay, maybe it's a bad day, but clearly she has a pattern of this, and I think there's going to be a lot more stuff that's going to come out from staffers and whatnot, because her political opponents obviously are already taking the opportunity to use this to try to destroy her, because she is one of the leading candidates right now in the Democrat Party, which is kind of scary. She ran for Senate last year, lost, because I think that was Adam Schiff won that, but he was going to be appointed, one way or another. It was going to wind up going to him. So she lost that race for United States Senate. So I think she's still a sitting House member right now, or maybe not. I don't recall, but it's just, there seems to be a pattern here. So she's going to be one to watch, folks out there. So keep your eye peeled. We might have to have some more fun stories with that. All right, we got a couple of more stories I want to get to, but I've got to get to some of these super chats here. Sean for $5 says it was last year since he was on the show. Since who was on? Was that when we were joking about Brandon Herrera? If you ever need a guest, I can probably get reporters from Portland, the ice facility, or even go there live. That would be cool. I don't want you to put yourself in danger or get in trouble, though. But yeah, definitely. That would be kind of fun. Noam de Plume for $5. The Jewish holiday, talking about Ron Coleman earlier, is Sukkot. Probably saying that wrong. How could you possibly forget Sukkot? I don't know.
How uncouth of us.
Eric Heffelfinger for 10. Carolyn Borisenko infiltrates Antifa. Carlin Borisenko reads their own documents on planning, funding, organization, weaponization of media, corporation, schools. She's the Kirsha of Antifa.
Good for her.
Yeah, sweet. We'll have to look her up. Definitely. Remember that name. Don't worry, Dani Ann, direct. He'll figure it out in college. Talking about parenting
The boobs.
methods. Yes, exactly. Let's see. Tennessee Tornado for 5. VR is the Pete Buttigieg of YouTube. He knows the proper feeding techniques. I walked myself into that one, didn't I? All right. I'll give you that one, Tennessee. Marcus for 2. That lady looks strong like ox, smart like plow. That's a good one. I like that one, Marcus. That's a good one. I probably should say it like Frankenstein. Lady looks strong like ox, smart like plow. Missed you on EBN, says Sodak Chopper. Well, I mean, I was actually chit-chatting with Coach and Nick a couple of weeks ago. We need to try to get back together. I was going to try to go hang out if they had done a show on Coach's birthday a few weeks ago, but he had family stuff that night. I don't think they did one, but I had planned to be there for that. But yeah, I try to hop by when I can. They've kind of been moving the show around. I think Coach and Nick are going to bring it back to Saturdays, if I'm right, or they have. I know they have been doing it on Saturdays. I think they're moving back to Saturdays. I don't think Thursdays was working for them. Nom de Plume for 5 says he became a nation-state enemy member. I love you guys just making up channel member names. And hail Dani, all hail the law for Dani. I like that one for $5. Thank you, John H. We appreciate you. Tennessee for 5. VR won't say it, but I will. Katie Porter's hairline is receding faster than the tide before a tsunami. Yeesh. And Marcus first for the new goal, the Super Chat goal, I guess, part 2. I appreciate you guys doing the goals tonight. I'm just lining them up. Jay for 5. She sounds like the Karens in Santa Barbara. I'm more important than you. Yeah, probably. And Hawaii Dragon Star for 5. She only wants yes-went people. Only ones who can give her positive affirmations and toxic positivity. She doesn't want to hear negativity or what she interprets as negativity, right?
Yep.
Tennessee Tornado for 5. Check out the 3-shot on that local show and look at the background. Best campaign ad against Porter. The issue is, and her position next to it. Oh, I didn't even catch that. Now I gotta go back and look.
That's
let's
funny.
see. Hey, when does she go back to being Cameron Diaz? Ooh, talking about Katie Porter. When does she go back to being Cameron Diaz? Thank you, Sean, for the $1.99. I don't know if she was ever there. I'm not sure about
Cameron
that.
Diaz is cute.
Gorlock
We're
the Destroyer. Ungamani want to Tawa Jawa. Yeah. Gorlock the Destroyer for governor. My God. There's going to be Gorlock memes for Katie Porter here in the not too distant future. Jeez and Pete's. Okay. I'm going to keep that one with that name right there.
Oh, the Cameron Diaz is a Shrek reference.
Oh, that's
so
right.
She's an ogre, and they're implying that she'll go back to being not an ogre.
Thank you. I knew that. I'm like, wait, what am I missing here? And as soon as you said Shrek, I'm like, oh crap! Of course. Why didn't I think of that? Thank you, Sean. Yes, it does. When does she go back to being Cameron Diaz again? Yes, Princess Fiona. I think that was the character's name, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see. All right, up next that we want to get to here, and there's a couple of things, and this is. Oh, wait, I got to bring it up since you mentioned. I still have it. Wait. Let me do it real quick. Where is it? I got to go back to this tab anyway. There, that is the shot. The issue is her.
Okay, that is funny.
That really is good.
That is funny.
That is. The issue is, oh God, that is perfect. So I'm just going to go ahead and let's go ahead and, all right, everybody clip it right there. You can take it and take it to the bank. That's it right there. All right. So one of the things I wanted to talk about here, and especially with you now in the house, is this issue where now we've got our old buddy Letitia James, who has now officially been indicted for stuff and things, mortgage fraud specifically.
Revenge is best served cold, baby. I love it. I absolutely love it.
You know, what do they say about don't throw rocks if you live in a glass house? So if for those of you that don't remember the name and the connection here, Letitia James was one of the two, the other being the judge himself, that ran this complete fiasco of a show trial against Donald Trump. I mean, the very definition of lawfare. She is the one that came up with all of the quote unquote fraud charges against Trump for operating his real estate empire over the course of many, many years. The funny thing was, of course, you couldn't find a single victim of anything anywhere. The banks were all paid on time with the interest stated. Every contract was fulfilled. Every promise was fulfilled. Nothing went wrong. And, of course, the funniest part of the trial was when the judge tried to suggest that, and this was the key piece that broke it all apart, right, that made Donald Trump a liar, when the judge said, we think Mar-a-Lago is only worth $20 million because that's what all the other houses around it in West Palm Beach go for, right? I'm oversimplifying it, but that's basically what he said. Of course, that would, every other lot in West Palm Beach is about a half acre with a $20 million house on it, whereas Mar-a-Lago is like over 20 acres or it's 40 acres, contiguous land piece. It's $1 billion property. So anyway, right? And this is why they said, everything against Trump, whether it was this or the Russiagate hoax and all that crap. Apparently, Letitia James may have allegedly committed some mortgage fraud here. So, Dani, you want to tell the folks about what's going on with this?
So she has basically been indicted on a count for mortgage fraud. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to remember what the other one is. It's something else. They're both financial crimes. Essentially, yeah. She said that her property that she owned was was her primary residence. Mm-hmm. And I believe she said that back in like 2021. Yeah, and then she actually was operating it as an investment property and had been renting it out. And she ended up garnering, I think, a $19,000 benefit over the course of the entire loan as a result of her fraudulent statements regarding the property and use of the property. So, here's the thing. I don't like these types of crimes. Can I be honest? I don't like the prosecution of these crimes because it's sort of like you figured out a loophole to our law. So now I'm going to punish you for identifying this as something other than what it was. Right. And then they have to go and prove what it was. I don't necessarily care for these. However, this is a big however. Yep. If you're going to go after a guy for essentially the same financial fraud, right, and getting deals he shouldn't have gotten, you kind of deserve to be gotten. Okay. Yeah. After that, someone deserves to go after you for the exact same BS because we all sort of do it. I'm just going to be honest. This is such a prevalent problem. It's difficult to craft laws that are stringent enough to be applied to everyone equally. And the IRS knows this. That's why they play the games that they do. I know it's so unfair. I'm sorry, baby. So, they target people, but it's, if you're going to, mischaracterize things, we all mischaracterize things all the time, both intentionally and unintentionally. But this is going to be a hard case to prove, I think, unless there's sufficient evidence. And based on what everyone is saying, it sounds like there is a lot of evidence that she knowingly misstated and misrepresented what this was, what the property was, what was entailed in the property in order to receive a benefit. And in which case, yeah, she's going to be likely found guilty if, again, there's enough evidence that she knowingly did so. I think what will end up happening is they'll come to some kind of agreement and then they'll be able to walk. Yeah.
And the specifics of this, everybody understands is, so Letitia James is the New York Attorney General. She bought a second house, because again, all of these elected officials seem to be wealthy enough to not only own a home in New York, but then turn around and buy another house in Virginia. And she wasn't exactly buying, Section 8 housing here, kids. Okay. I'm not saying it was a $20 million house like she owned Black Lives Matter or something like that, but it was probably a decently expensive enough house. Point is this: when Letitia James secured the mortgage for the house in Virginia, remember, she's an elected official in New York. So she has to have residency in New York. She, in order to get, like Dani pointed out, saving a bunch of money on the mortgage over time, she listed it as her primary residence on the mortgage application. She said, this will be a primary residence and it will be owner occupied. Okay. And for those of you out there that like, what is the difference here? Or how does that change things? Well, when you go get a loan, especially for a piece of property like this, if you just buy a piece of raw land, it's going to cost you one rate. If you buy a piece of property that's got raw land and a house on it, then you're going to pay a lesser rate. Now, if you're going to buy something with a house on it and you're going to live in it yourself, it's going to be owner occupied as a primary residence, your rate goes down even a little bit more. Okay. Now, it may be a matter of 50 basis points or 75 basis points. So 0.5 or 0.5%, 0.5%, something like that. It's usually less than 1%. Because I just kind of been dealing with some of that recently. But over time, and that's where it saved her tens of thousands of dollars on the loan, where she stated, oh yeah, this will be my primary residence. I'll be living in it, knowing that she couldn't even possibly do that because she's the attorney general for the state of New York. She can't be living in Virginia, right? So that was problem number one. And then I found out an interesting quirk that I didn't realize either that was in this. But, and look, and this is this is pretty harsh. U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia, Lindsay Halligan, said Letitia James faces up to 30 years in prison per count, up to a $1 million fine on each count, and forfeiture if convicted. And now, again, it's like, Dani, you pointed this out. Is this something that normally people are, they go after folks for? No, not to this degree. And I agree with you from the standpoint of, yeah, it's kind of weak sauce. However, given the fact that, she decided to play in the F around stage a year ago, she doesn't like being in the find out stage now in 2025. And again, she had to have known when she was doing this with Trump, you'd better be squeaky effing clean, because if this man gets elected, everything that you've ever done in your life, all the way back to kindergarten, is probably going to get dug up.
I wonder too if this isn't a door, if this isn't the state kind of nudging their toe in the door to get into other aspects of her potential criminal liability. What I mean by that is, where there's smoke, there's fire. If she's engaging in mortgage fraud and financial frauds on, the light end, if those are the white lies that she's involved in,
right.
What else is she involved in? What else can we find? What other crimes can we find herself involved in? Which is a political practice I don't like as an attorney. I don't support that. But I could totally see that being exactly what this is. It's a little bit of a hunt to see, okay, what other crimes is she involved in and engaged in? If she's done it so comfortably in this situation, like you said, it's pretty obvious that this was a fraudulent statement, right? She's the AG of New York. How do you live in two places? You can't. You have one residency.
Yeah.
And so if she was so comfortable doing that, then who's to say she's not comfortable committing other financial crimes that are much larger and much more consequential in nature?
And this is the difference, right? When she went after Trump a year ago, and she was saying Trump lied about his financial net worth, the value of this, the value of that. Well, I mean, businesses assign book values to things all the time. Is that necessarily what somebody's going to pay for it? No. But you have to put something down. And there didn't seem to be anything that was outrageously overstated. Although, again, when we get to court and the judge says this, that, and the other thing, but again, there was no victim here from that standpoint. There was, in other words, there was nothing. Donald Trump didn't go out there and lie on a mortgage application, and say this, that. I mean, they really dug deep to try to build something against him that really wasn't there. In this case, Letitia James went out and allegedly made a very cognizant decision here to lie on a mortgage application, knowing she couldn't possibly be living there. And it's funny because, this is the one that talked about nobody's above the law. Nobody. It's like, well, all this, okay, well, now the shoe's on the other foot. And you're not above the law either. And that's what the law says. This is what you're going to get. Now I think
Something tells me she's not going to have a bank witness show up at her trial saying, yeah, we knew he was lying. Don't care. He made us tons of money. we knew he was probably overvaluing. Who cares? We could have valued it at whatever we wanted to. It was completely arbitrary, and we ended up making more money on the loan, with what he paid than if he hadn't. So we're very happy about it. So it's not even that there were no victims in the Trump case. It's that everyone won. Everybody got a good deal out of this, and apparently that's a crime.
Yeah, we can't figure that one out. This is Letitia James. This was her post when the indictment came down. She had a prepared statement.
This is nothing more than a continuation of the president's desperate weaponization of our justice system.
That's all. That's some bold language coming from you, honey. That's some seriously bold language coming from you.
And what is she wearing? Is she going to an Amish funeral? Like, just thinking in terms of, nonverbal messaging there. It's just
still spending most our life living in an Amish paradise. Okay. I was listening to Weird Al the other day.
Forcing federal law enforcement agencies to do his bidding.
Again, when did that not happen? Whenever Trump was in office or trying to get elected? My God, they ran an entire scam on this man for 3.5 years with impeachment, with Russiagate, something that they knew was fake, something they knew was made up by the Hillary Clinton campaign, the Steele dossier and all that crap, the PP dossier, the Russian spy. Every one of these people knew that was fake, and they ran to bat with it. And to this day, some of them still try to sell it as real. Come on, I don't want to hear that from these people.
Obama knew it was fake. Biden knew it was fake. We know that they knew it was fake because guess what?
James Comey knew it was fake.
James Comey knew it was fake because they were all on the same damn phone call because some idiot decided the FBI agent, what was his name? He looks like a demon. He straight up looks like the devil.
Peter
Strzok. Peter Strzok.
Peter Strzok.
He took notes, handwritten notes. And he wrote down the names of everyone who was on that phone call, and they all knew it was bullshit.
Yeah. Yep. And they lied to the American public for years, and they tried to impeach a sitting president based on something they knew was a lie.
And what are the consequences?
Nothing. The consequences have been nothing. Well, he got elected. That was the consequence they didn't want. So yeah, Tish James talking about the weaponization of Justice Departments is laughable.
Because I did my job as the New York State Attorney General. These charges are baseless, and the president's own public statements make clear that his only goal is political retribution at any cost.
Well, the problem with that is that if you did it, that's just it. If you actually broke the law, then you can't sit here and cry about political retribution if you did it.
The president's actions are a grave violation of our constitutional order and have drawn sharp criticism from members of both parties. His decision to fire a United States attorney who refused to bring charges against me and replace them with someone who is blindly loyal not to the law, but to the president, is antithetical to the bedrock principles of our country.
Oh, the drama. Oh, the drama.
God. Well, and to characterize another attorney that way is disgusting too. Letitia, you broke the law, honey. Mm-hmm. The attorney is following the law. The other attorney refused to follow the law, and that's why they got fired.
Right.
We're not dumb. I don't know why these politicians think we're dumb. I guess they think that we're dumb because we've yet to hold them accountable. They're still in office. They are still running. Their friends are still getting elected. So I guess we are dumb. I'm sorry. It's just so frustrating.
Certain people though, I mean, are and the Democrat Party by and large depends upon them to continue to just lap up whatever they get fed and obey. And I think that's a big part of it, because again, how else do you sell a lie like you did against Trump for so many years, and still to this day so many people believe it.
This is the time for leaders on both sides of the aisle to speak out against this blatant perversion of our system of justice. I stand strongly behind my office's litigation against the Trump Organization. We conducted a 2-year investigation based on the facts and evidence, not politics.
Yeah, nobody in their right mind is going to believe that. None.
You know, someone in your comment section just said they're not dumb. It's not that they think we're dumb. It's that they know we're powerless. And they said that right before she said, I call on the leaders of both parties to come and say XYZ thing and to do XYZ thing.
Yeah.
She's not calling on the people. She's not calling on justice. She's not calling on people to stand up and say this is wrong. She's calling on the leaders because she knows that's where the power is. She knows that's where anything that's going to get done is going to get done. And that's a shame.
Yeah.
Judges have upheld the trial court's finding that Donald Trump, his company, and his 2 sons are liable for fraud. I'm a proud woman of faith.
Oh, here we go.
And I know that faith and fear cannot share the same space.
Mm-hmm.
And so today I'm not fearful. I'm fearless.
Oh, okay.
And as my faith teaches me, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. We will fight these baseless charges aggressively, and my office will continue to fiercely protect New Yorkers and their rights. And I will continue to do my job.
Yeah, okay. Like, what acting coach did she go to before delivering this singer? Here's the thing, though, and I think I saved this as well. I think I got to scroll up towards the top because, yeah, here it is. Now, I did not know this part. This is one of the actual allegations in the indictment. I think this is the other crime. Nate, the lawyer, picked this out because, I mean, he had kind of the same reaction talking about how it seems kind of weak sauce, but then he found this. Letitia James, as Nate says this, was so dumb to claim that she was not renting the property and then turn around and file taxes claiming rental property income on it. So, yeah, you can look there. That's from the indictment right there. James filed Schedule E tax forms under penalties of perjury, treating the Peroni property as rental real estate, reporting fair rental days, 0 personal use days, thousands of dollars in rent received, and claiming deductions for expenses related to that property, further contradicting the second home classification. So she really dialed it up. So that's she's saying they're baseless, but they're like, we got your tax returns. It's like we got you said this on a mortgage application, you filed this on tax return. Yeah. So look, and again, they wanted to play this game with Trump. Now this actually has some real teeth on it. Dems the rules, have fun. I don't know. But I mean, like you said, what does this wind up looking like at the end of the day, right? Does Letitia James see any serious prison time? I somehow doubt it. The judge that was randomly selected for this was a Biden-appointed judge, but, you know, it is what it is. That may or may not mean anything to the case, but I suspect that there will be some type of deal reached, I would think, before this gets terribly far.
Or the judge has it dismissed.
Yeah.
Or, you know, she brings some kind of motion to dismiss and it gets dismissed, even if it's not, you know, the strongest motion in the world. It allows the judge to go ahead and get rid of the case.
Yeah, exactly.
And then she gets to tout around, oh, see, they had no evidence. Look at these trumped up charges against me. I'm being persecuted and prosecuted by this unfaithful, what evil administration. I don't know what she'll pull God into it again. She'll blaspheme. Yeah. It's fine. Whatever. I'm not God. I'll let him make those decisions.
No. But I will tell you, one of the last couple of bits and pieces I kind of wanted to get to tonight since we'd been away. I haven't had much of an opportunity to talk about, a lot of the stuff going on. This is, oh good Lord, and this is a new one. Good Lord. There's always fun stuff out there. Okay, what is it with this now? This is so, I love, oh God, I love.
Oh, is this Portland protest?
Yes.
I love protest watching. This is so fun.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is from, I think, last night. So, the first one that we saw was the guy wearing the big inflatable T-Rex or costume or whatever it was. And he, the cop unloaded the entire pepper spray canister into the ventilation port in the back of the suit and just blasted. I mean, he crop dusted this guy inside the suit. And people are like, I can't believe, how can the cops come up and do this? It's like, oh, they're Nazis. Oh, they're the Gestapo. Guess what? The cops aren't doing anything to these guys. You know why? Because they're standing there dancing around like moron retards. And they're not actually assaulting police officers, number one. Number two, they've apparently not crossed onto federal property, at least in this video. So, no, they're not getting bothered. But when one of these clowns crosses that line, because everybody that's been out, and everybody's talking about, oh, my God, look, they shot a priest in the head with a pepper ball or whatever. There's some debate onto who that guy actually really is.
He's a pastor. No, he's a protester, sweetie. And
yeah. Oh, I think I lost you. You glitched out. You still there?
Oh, sorry. Did you see the red paint episode?
The red paint episode.
Oh, this was great. Go look it up. There was this guy who was there. He's kind of an independent journalist, and he was live streaming, and somebody brought red paint, right? And they were smearing it around like the blood of people being killed by ICE. And he was like, take the blood and paint your faces, show them how evil they are and what they're doing to you.
Okay.
And then ICE was able, or Department of Homeland Security was able to go and arrest everybody because they were all painted red.
Yeah.
I loved that. That was beautiful.
Perfect. Yeah. I mean, it's just, try to say, oh, Portland's so peaceful and this is so peaceful and that's so peaceful. And then, you get Chicago out there and everybody's marching in the streets. Here's Chicago. I think this is from last night,
I lived in the era of the Chaz, okay? Or
Chaz and Chop, okay? Whatever it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I lived in the era of the Chaz. You can't convince me these people are peaceful protesters after that. No. There's no going back from that.
No, and that was just a few years ago, as a matter of fact. That was Chicago last night. I mean, look, the bottom line is that when you have this, this is so weird. This is it. This is the priest hitting the head. And Viva, I pulled this one up because this was the most recent one I had on my feed. Yeah, literally everything in the tweet below is a lie. Is what he says. That you watch this guy, bang, right there.
Striking Black directly on. Dramatic video shows the Reverend David Black, a pastor at the First Presbyterian Church of Chicago, shouting to 3 ICE agents who are standing on the roof outside the Broadview detention facility just outside the Windy City. As one ICE agent rained down pepper balls onto the protesters below, one of the projectiles can be seen striking Black directly on the head, exploding into a puff of white smoke. Dramatic video
that probably hurt a little bit. Yeah, you see where he's standing? He's standing on the federal property there. And you know what they're telling him from the roof?
Get
off
back
the property. Yeah, get back off the property over and over again. And this is the problem. The minister in the First Presbyterian Church, and he was shot 7 times in the head. The protect come on. I mean, this is one of these weirdo tweets, but this look, and this is the point: is none of this is right. But the guy, again, what the left wants to do is say we didn't do nothing. We were just standing there, and they did this to us. No, you were disobeying orders. You were lawful orders at that to not be on the property. This is why they're now sending in a bunch more troops to these places. it really to just help protect the federal installations there, the federal buildings, federal property, which is what you can do with the National Guard if you're the executive. And there's more on the way to these places. I think what was it? Kristi Noem was talking about how they wanted to buy even more pieces of property around Chicago to add more detention facilities. So I know they're not going to be happy about that, and they'll probably protest that to all get out. But point being is that these guys aren't backing down from this. I don't see this changing anytime soon, nor should they. And I had a story here, I think that was tied into it. I don't know where it went. But I don't know. Have you been watching much of the protest stuff that's been going on?
I love watching protests. It's my favorite thing to do. You know, some people like sports. I don't have a dog in the fight because I am not a fan of the feds, generally speaking. Yeah. And I'm also not a fan of Antifa and BLM rioters. So for me, it's
Oh, froze up again. Whoop, Dani, as soon as you clip back in here.
Dale.
Oh, there you go.
Sorry, my internet is just going in and out. It's worst.
Yeah, it's going in and out.
I'll go ahead and check out now. But yes, I love protest season. We'll have to talk about it sometimes. You know what? I'll get a compilation of my favorite clips, and we can just sit and enjoy it and sip some wine, because that is my favorite thing to do come protesting. It's coming to a quick close. I'm surprised they're out there right now. Usually it's closed up by the time it starts to get cold. So good for them.
They're still going. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's surprising because this was a story that this is one I wanted to share just so you can see it. And you look good now. It was just a 20-second glitch there. But pro-Palestinian agitators hit with felony promotion of anarchy charges after riot in Demrun City. So 13 demonstrators face upgraded charges after 4 officers were injured in the downtown confrontation. I believe this one was in Boston, but this just hit actually about an hour ago or so, this story. Pro-Palestinian agitators accused of being behind a riot on Tuesday are now being charged with promotion of anarchy. The Boston Herald reported that the Suffolk County Attorney's Office on Thursday upgraded charges for all 13 suspects, who are now accused of violating state law that makes promotion of anarchy illegal and is a felony charge, according to court documents. So even in Boston, they're going after it. And again, I mean, this is one of the stills from that evening right there. It's everywhere. And again, show me where these are always widespread. They're in major deep blue cities, and it's always the same people over and over and over and over and over again. But yet, the people on the right are the ones that are always violent or something. I can't. Speaking
of which, off on the 18th, we have another program in Utah that we will be live streaming. So the No Kings Round 2 protest, the only voting, by the way, that occurred in the U.S. happened here in Salt Lake during the last protest. It's going to be a lot of fun. Everybody should tune in.
Interesting. All right, Dani, well, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it, and we'll get you back on here soon. Take care. All right, we're going to keep on going. I got a couple of more stories I want to hit this evening. Marcus Quintus for $5. The IRS should be burrowing their way up James's backside and checking every tax return, bank account, etc. Just saying. I suspect they will now. And again, it's a matter of if you actually deliberately did something wrong here, then you can't scream and cry about retribution. Right now the whole thing with Jim Comey. And people don't like that because it's political persecution, or some people don't. Again, too bad. We just told you why. Comey, amongst many other people, knew damn well that everything that Donald Trump was being accused of out in the open was a lie. all the Russiagate stuff. He testified before Congress, basically lying when he testified about that whole issue because he knew it was fake. And that was the problem. And that's what he's being brought up on charges for is basically, I believe, perjury, if I'm not mistaken, or obstruction. It's just one of those things that if you did it, you don't get to scream that it's revenge porn or whatever that they want to claim that this stuff is. It really isn't. It's that you did do it, and you have to. And either we keep letting it happen like this, or we finally say enough is enough. The left is going to hate you. The left is going to denigrate you. They're going to cry foul on every damn thing every time they lose something. It doesn't matter. So why not go ahead? If they're going to call you names and hate you anyway, you might as well take them down for the actual things that they're doing, right? We're not talking about making stuff up. Not even talking about witch hunts, talking about things that they actually do out in the open that everybody knows, like the Biden crime family, right? Everybody knows what Hunter was doing with all of his little corrupt deals. Everybody knows that the Bidens were getting paid under the table from places like Burisma in Ukraine, why we're involved with Ukraine the way we have been. And it's not just the Biden family. There was other wash. Everybody knows this. So go after him for it. What difference does it make? Sean says, for 5, I agree with Dani. I never experienced a federal case as an attorney, dealing with only local cases until I was indicted on a similar case to Letitia. Really? Interesting. Interesting. Marcus Quintus for 5. For Helena J, can someone send a super chat and tell him Letitia is showing ads for fundraising on YouTube? Oh, on his channel or on her channel? Yeah, okay. Huh. You can't control what ads wind up there. You kind of sort of can, but you can't pick and choose. Like, oh, I don't want this person's ad. Packing protons for 5. Dani's baby has gotten to the promised land before I did. Any 40-year-old single, childless. I didn't get to ask before she had to duck out. Her internet was crashing. Noam de Plume for 2. The pastor should have turned the other cheek or the other temple. Sean also says for 2, Antifa bear maced my friend unprovoked at a protest. No, jeez. I mean, was your friend wearing like a MAGA hat or something? What was the deal with that? That sucks. Wow. Jeez and Pete's. But yeah, to kind of get back to a couple other things here. I guess while I have this up. And I think I saved this one because Andrew Branca had I think he had the most concise take on this because I couldn't remember all the details, but I had seen this. Look, you're talking about this alleged priest that got whacked in the head with a pepper ball. Senator Alex Padilla. Oh, jeez, this guy. I didn't know who this guy was, and he's become one of the most insufferable people. A priest was peacefully praying outside of an ICE facility. Trump's masked federal immigration agents shot him in the head from a rooftop, pardon me, with a pepper ball. Is that what law and order looks like in Trump's America? Yes, because he was trespassing on federal property, and he failed to obey commands to get back. And I love what Andrew Branca had here, law of self-defense. The priest actually is a paid, professional paid agitator who merely dresses up like a priest. I don't know. Somebody said he was. I think there was 2 guys. This might be a different priest. Was committing criminal trespass, which he was on federal property for sure. The use of non-deadly force to stop a criminal trespass is entirely lawful. Yep. And Alex Padilla, pretty rich, coming from the U.S. senator nobody ever heard of until he committed an 8-year federal felony by assaulting federal officers at a Kristi Noem press conference. Y'all remember that? A couple of months ago, he tried to bum rush her, and nobody knew who he was. And he like bum rushed her up by the podium at this speech she was given. And of course, her security detail, which included federal officers, basically tackled him to the ground while he was just saying, I'm a senator. I'm a senator. Like, look, anybody can go in there and say, I'm the freaking Pope. I'm a congressman, whatever. Nobody knows who their congressman looks like. Most people don't. Or their senator. They forget their names. They don't know what they look like. They have no clue. So anybody could say that. But he got taken to. So, yeah, I mean, technically, yeah, he probably should be in jail for assault of a law enforcement officer. But, you know, scoot out. No big deal, right? Let's see here. Nope, make sure I got those. So, in any case, wanted to get to that one. I think here in the I don't know. These are not. Oh, this is on the main feed. I'm like, wait, this isn't my bookmarks. It's like that's not right. Yeah, all the apologists coming out right now for Letitia James. I guess I must have. Let's see. This is so perfect because we were just about to go to this story. On this day in 2000, this from the Walt Disney Company. On this day in 2009, President Barack Obama won the Nobel Peace Prize for what the Norwegian Nobel Committee called, quote, his extraordinary efforts to strengthen international diplomacy and cooperation between peoples. He hadn't even been in office 9 months at this point. He had done nothing, and he was given the Nobel Peace Prize. Y'all remember this? Because it was, quote unquote, aspirational. The man had literally achieved zero, nada, nothing, Nobel Peace Prize. Donald Trump has managed to create normalization relations between Israel and what, 6 Muslim majority countries. And yet, you know, when you talk about Trump getting the Nobel Peace Prize, oh, because he changed the name to the Department of War from the Department of I'm like, oh, God. You know why? Because our enemies out there fear that more. It doesn't matter what you think or I think. It matters what our enemies think. And the Department of War sounds a hell of a lot more intimidating. I get it. And that's what it used to be called anyway, the War Department. Remember in World War II, it was the War Department. This is from the American Spectator. Blessed is the peacemaker. And this, of course, has happened today. It's ongoing right now. The president delivers a Nobel-worthy peace agreement between Israel and Hamas. Now, all of this is still in motion, right? And let's be honest, the people that we are most worried about, or what any reasonable, rational thinking person would have to be most worried about, is going to be Hamas and Hezbollah. Will they actually live up to the terms of the deal, right? That's yet to be seen. In the past, it hasn't gone so well. But maybe with Trump around this time, it might be different. In a dramatic moment during a White House dining room panel discussion, President Trump received a note and whispered a message from Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Very close, Rubio scribbled. Need you to approve a Truth Social post soon so you can announce the deal first. That is a coveted and seemingly once impossible deal with Hamas and Israel. 2 years after the terrorist leadership invaded from Gaza in the most infamous day of the 21st century thus far for the nation of Israel. And yes, we just did pass that 2-year anniversary back on October 7th. And what was it? How was an unseemly number of people that were mass murdered by the Palestinian Hamas terrorists that parachuted into a music festival. Absolute savagery. No one could or should deny that it's a big deal for Trump. Even CNN could not hold back the praise. After months of false hope, stalled progress, and entrenched positions, CNN reported the agreement was a clear victory for a president who has in recent weeks seemed intent on willing his plan into reality. Indeed, the indefatigable Trump willed it into reality. Had a president or had a Democrat president done this, the Nobel Prize Committee would be polishing up its prize to serve to him as soon as humanly possible. But the Nobel Committee was hijacked by left-wingers. It doesn't award Republican presidents, only Democrat ones. Recall that it had ludicrously recognized President Barack Obama in October of 2009. I told you that tweet was poignant. Mere months into office before he had done anything. Even Obama sensed the ridiculousness of the whole spectacle, admitting it was not deserved. I'm both surprised and deeply humbled by the decision of the Nobel Committee. Let me be clear, Obama said, I do not view it as a recognition of my own accomplishments. Of course not, because at that point, Obama had no accomplishments. Ultimately, Obama's presidency was not permeated with Middle East peace, with the secretary of the Nobel Committee himself later regretting the prize he had bestowed. Among other Middle East messes, ISIS exploded during the Obama years, wreaking havoc on the region. And we don't even have to bring up things like Benghazi, right? Obama was succeeded by Trump. Trump proceeded to stun all of us by negotiating the Abraham Accords in September of 2020. The Accords were named after the great Jewish patriarch Abraham, the common forefather of Jews, Christians, and Arabs. The Accords normalized relations between several major Arab nations, the United Arab Emirates, or UAE, Bahrain, Morocco, and Sudan, that theretofore had never recognized Israel's right to exist. President Trump's senior advisor, son-in-law, Jared Kushner, played the primary role as chief negotiator. Yeah. Were there any prizes for that? Any Nobel Prizes for that? Nobody had ever been able to pull that off. Trump did it. Now Trump might actually have something that at least for an extended period of time may bring some of this fighting to an end right now in Israel with Hamas. And they go through some of the other history here. But just to look at what this really is, to kind of get down to the brass tacks. Since Donald Trump returned to office, things have rapidly changed dramatically in the Middle East. The Abraham Accords are moving ahead once again, with the hopes of new Arab countries recognizing Israel's right to exist. You got to stop and think about how ridiculous that is, that you have to make a pact with foreign nations that don't even, we're not asking them to recognize you as a trading partner or recognizing you as an ally. No. We have to get back to real basics here. We have to get them first to agree to recognize that you have a right to breathe. It's amazing when you think about it. The deal is quite comprehensive. It's based on 20 points. Most salient among them, the plan states that the war must, quote, end immediately, that all hostages held by Hamas must be released within 72 hours, during which, quote, Israeli forces will withdraw to the agreed line to prepare for a hostage release. During this time, military operations, including aerial and artillery bombardment, will be suspended. Battle lines will remain frozen. Particularly significant is the agreement states that, quote, Israel will not occupy or annex Gaza, right? So as part of the agreement, right, Israel's going to say, we're going to let you keep what we let you have years ago, Gaza Strip. We're not going to re-annex it. Now, of course, if Hamas or Hezbollah breaks the deal, then the deal's off. And of course, that's the fear. Is how long will it be before they decide they don't want to do that deal anymore? Ooh, my throat is getting sore. Amazingly, the proposal asserts that neither Hamas nor the Palestinian Authority will be governing the Gaza Strip. Now that is, that would be new. Because that entire area has been run by terrorist organizations for decades and decades and decades. It's always been terrorist organizations that have run that. So this is, according to this agreement, if they follow through with this, it will be governed under temporary transitional governance of a technocratic, apolitical Palestinian committee responsible for delivering the day-to-day running of public services and municipalities for the people in Gaza. This committee will be an international body that includes respected international leaders such as former British PM Tony Blair. Okay. And I like the next line in the article from Spectator. Anyone but Hamas, which at this point, a dead blind monkey would be a step up. So, Tony Blair wouldn't necessarily be the first person that would come to mind. However, Tony Blair, I'm sure is going to be a damn sight better than what's in there now. Convening Trump economic, and this is the other part. Yeah, interestingly, in a statement from Trump, the proposal even talks of a, quote, Trump economic development plan to rebuild and energize Gaza, which will be created by convening a panel of experts who have helped birth some of the thriving modern miracle cities in the Middle East. Now, that would be something. If you turn that area into another, not to the scale of it per se, but if you turn that area into another Dubai, for example, where it's a huge commercial capitalist success. I mean, that'd be great. That'd be great. Because it's amazing when you have that level of freedom and everything going on in there, and you create an area that's an economic powerhouse. You'd be surprised that I'll put it this way: you don't hear about terrorist activities in the UAE. You don't hear about radical Islamic terror in Dubai. This doesn't exist there. There's reasons for that. And that would maybe that's the thought process. Disney World Gaza coming 2035. Oh God. I just saw that in the chat. Oh God, who was that? Nom de Plume. Oh man. No, I've got tea and Gatorade. I've got that. Yeah, here to Disney World Gaza. God. Oh man. So in any case, the point is that things are moving in the right direction. Now, is this going to wind up? Y'all go check out the American Spectator too. I've known some of these guys for a year. Oh God. I didn't know. Okay. I didn't. Now, Scott McKay, the writer for the American Spectator, right there. He's got the. I didn't know he had an article coming out on this tonight. I would have used it when I checked before the show. They didn't have Katie Porter there. I've known Scott for many years here in Louisiana. Scott's a good guy. I want to read. We covered this earlier. I kind of want to read this now. Oh Lord. See, this is what I love about Scott. Scott's got all the fun stuff. He's got all. I might have to go back and just do a video on this. Oh, to hell with it. Let's do it. 5 quick things. The glorious return of the 5QT. The Katie Porter, California gubernatorial campaign can't be serious, right? I know it's been a while since we did one of these. I always start off with the idea that I'll write a quick 5 quick things column. That's this 5QT. On Thursdays, but lately I keep finding topics that demand a full column's worth of coverage instead. And I can absolutely do a full column on our first topic because, oh my Lord, the Katie Porter gubernatorial campaign has to be performance art. It can't be real. I looked it up and found out that Jason Clarke, who played Jerry West in the HBO sports drama Winning Time, The Rise of the Lakers Dynasty, and Teddy Kennedy in Chappaquiddick, as well as lots of other prominent film and TV roles, is Australian. I had no idea. Clark's a very good actor. He comes to mind because with Katie Porter emerging as the Democrats' leading candidate for governor in California, I wonder whether Clarke is actually playing a new role. Oh, God. It's so wrong, but it's so right. Oh, good Lord. Oh, my God. That's terrible. Yes, of course, you're right. They're not the same at all. He's prettier than she is. Y'all will like Scott's articles. He's very, very snarky like me. Still, it's hard to shake the feeling that we're all being trolled here, and that Porter isn't actually a real politician, but rather some sort of put on or a LARP, like we're being Borated. CBS News Sacramento reporter Julie Watts had to feel that way, you'd think, after this utterly bizarre interface with Porter. And that's the one we played earlier. I don't need to play it again. That isn't actually the height of crazy where Porter's concerned. Then there's this. And that's the clip where she talked about my 12-year-old daughter was scared after Trump got elected because she might need an abortion after being graped. I mean, it's so crazy. A leaked video of California Democrat Governor... Oh, get out of my shot. Yeah, okay. We played that one as well. Don't ask me to explain it. I can't. That's why I can't shake the theory that this is a massive joke that we aren't quite in on yet. I believe just about anything about Katie Porter cavalcade at this point, but what I'm not going to believe is that this is a serious campaign that will culminate in her winning a gubernatorial election in the country's most populous state. There's no way. Even as crazy as the Democrats are, and even as crazy as they are in California, they're still human beings, and this character is way too bizarre and repulsive for human beings to agree to be led by her. And look, I think Scott has a point there. I think he does. And I mean, we were making jokes earlier about, she somehow she's leading in the polls in California. And again, we are a year away from that election, and a year away is an absolute infinite eternity in politics that means next to nothing in terms of where people are polling now versus a year from now. However, I think he does have a valid point there that as this comes out, there's going to be plenty of other Democrat wacko candidates in California that those voters will happily drift towards and go over to. Because of how absolutely wacko this chick is. I mean, she's just, I mean, she has it. Her body language, her attitude, and of course the signature crazy eyes. That all of these really these sad sack weirdo lefty feminist women have. It's always in the eyes. And hers sells a lot. So again, I didn't expect that little extra bonus there from Scott tonight, but check out the American Spectator over there. I think he had another one. He had another column on here that I was looking at earlier. Well, in any case, we're about running up on the 2-hour mark here, so I don't want to get too much deeper into too many things. But I mean, unless you guys have a certain topic or question that you'd like to ask, be happy to address it here. I think we've got, let's see. Oh, nope. Caught up on the super chats. I just had that one saved from earlier. So yeah, I mean, look, I will tell you this, that we're going to try to get a little bit more regular with the live streams. I mean, I'm going to try to do one every Thursday. Ron's schedule can move around, so I think I'm going to hold the Thursdays, because Thursdays is not a bad night for me. And we can do these. I don't know if I want to stay at this, start a little earlier. I may, start at 6 or 7 o'clock on Thursdays. But, I mean, it's up to you guys. I always wonder if the later shows works better for some of this kind of stuff. You do still tend to have some news breaking in the evening and things coming out from that standpoint. Did I talk about, I did not. I did see that. Actually, that's not a bad thing. Let me show everybody that. That's a good point. Now, the only thing is, I don't know, did I flag it and tag it? I think, who posted about it? Was it Posobiec? I think it was somebody I saw done posted it. Where did I see it? I'll pull this up real quick. Let's do that one. Yeah, barf. Yeah, no man in California. No, they really. I mean, that's who she loses first, is the men, because if the men were not visually kind of repulsed by her to begin with, And just even her attitude without her losing it, the fact that she's now losing it, every man in California is looking at that going, I know women like that. Some of them might be married to women like that. They're like, I'm telling you right now, they are not voting for that kind of woman for governor. Period. End of story. It's just not happening. I just can't, even in California. Where did I see this? Good Lord. Turning Point halftime. I see it. They did an announcement on it, but yeah. So I'm trying to find the actual post that he made because I know he was involved with it. There was like a whole. Good Lord. I know Posobiec posts a lot. There was like a thumbnail. There was a thing. They made a sign. I don't know where it is. Oh God, there it is, way back there. Okay. This is it. Yeah, and it came. I guess they shared this clip.
Try and internationalize or whatever, but they're going to lose American audience. And that's what they're going to see with Get Woke, Go Broke when people complain about this, and they're not. Well, they're going to try and internationalize or whatever, but they're going to lose American audience.
But this is the one pushback to that is to Jack's point. They've imported the international audience into our domestic audience.
But when you have a popular vote winner in Donald Trump and a demand for immigration,
the response is simple here. Bring on Creed. We need Creed. We need Scott Stapp. We need them flying down from the rafters. The greatest halftime show that has ever taken place.
Let me give the audience
which wasn't even a Super Bowl show, by the way.
Let me give the audience.
That was the peak of America.
Hold on,
2004.
Let me give the audience a little context. Jack,
Super Bowl,
in response to this, tweeted out something along the lines, there's only one response. We need Creed. I'm literally, it's because, you know,
by the way,
you
I did not have approval from TPUSA.
No, so this is what's hilarious. I'm getting multiple inquiries from the media right now.
So have I.
Saying, I would like a comment on, is Turning Point planning a competing, are they planning a competing halftime show with Creed? And I was like, well, I wasn't.
So, okay, so that's apparently kind of how it got started.
And that's what they're going to see with Get Woke, Go Broke when people.
And that's why I wanted to kind of bring that up, because I think but it is real. Today it was officially announced that Turning Point USA presents the All-American halftime show, and I'm assuming they're going to run this. I don't know if they're actually going to run this during Super Bowl halftime. Like they're gonna start it the minute the Super Bowl goes to halftime, or if they're just gonna have it during that day at some other point that it's gonna see if they can draw a crowd for it. I don't know. I don't know. More info and musical artists to be announced, and I think they were doing some kind of announcement feed tonight, right? And I think that's what some of that was. TPUSA halftime show. Anyway, I think that I think they started announcing some of them. I don't know all, but I thought that was really cool. Why not? Why the hell not? We need alternatives to stuff like this. You know, our friend Matthew Marsden is out there, and we keep missing each other. I've got to try to call him tomorrow. You know, he really wants to get something going. He's been trying to get something going for some time to have an alternative to Hollywood, for example. And we need this. And we'll see what kind of crowd this draws. I don't know who they're. I mean, I'm assuming they're gonna have Creed there. It sounds like. So, you know that, and who knows who else. It'll be interesting to see. Do you want me to tag me in what, Shadow Knight? Oh, the thing I just found. Yeah, I had to go. You can. You probably already did. Yep, I see it, Shadow Knight. Yeah. That's the one I was looking at. Okay, well, there's a website. Okay, let's go to the website. I didn't know they already had one up. All right, here we go. So the All-American Halftime Show. Please complete the form to receive information and updates. So you can go out here, you can fill this out, and they're apparently doing it now. So if you want to find out about it or keep up to speed, I'm sure you can just follow TPUSA on X, or you can sign up here. It's just AmericanHalftimeShow.com. Can't believe that was actually available as a URL. Damn. Okay. Listen, we got a couple of more super chats here. Coop for 5 with CBS cleaning house. Do you think other news stations will actually follow suit and go back to center reporting? It's a great question. But the thing is with CBS, they're cleaning house because they have a whole new boss. And it's David Ellison and the Ellison family, Dad Larry. They're going to clean up in there because they have new management. That's not really happening at Disney, nor do I think it will anytime soon. I don't see it happening at, CNN and things like that. I thought would have been cleaned up a little bit more than they have been. MSNBC, Comcast just gave up on them and they spun them out. They threw them off in the side. They wanted them out. They still have ownership of it, but a lot of these companies are now basically looking at ways to split and divest themselves in some form or fashion from their linear broadcast assets, which includes even cable news channels, not just over-the-air broadcast, but anything that falls under the linear bandwidth, which would be, cable delivery or OTA over the air. So, look, it will if CBS makes very positive changes as far as the audiences are concerned, and their viewership and their ad revenue jumps up a lot in the next couple of 2 or 3 years because of it. Because they're going to be viewed as centrist as opposed to hard left. And if in other organizations, in other newsrooms see this, they're going to be forced because they're going to have to compete. They still need to make money at the end of the day. They're going to have to compete, and they're going to have to change along with it. So my suggestion is that if CBS, under the new leadership of the Ellisons, who, again, a lot of these news people and these Hollywood people for sure absolutely freaking hate, because they're Trump people. Larry Ellison is a Trump fan. Okay? And they hate him just for that. If they make a lot of good changes to CBS, and CBS actually delivers impartial journalism again, then support it. Watch it. That's the best advice I can give you if it goes that route. Okay? 2 penny for 5. I was half expecting the Tylenol ladies to start using shock collars on their dogs to own us. I guess it's a good thing that they all got cats. Yeah. Shock collar a cat. Marcus Quintus for 2. Renegade Nation halftime live stream show. I'd be here. Hey, that's not a bad idea. Maybe we'll do a live stream during the Super Bowl for the halftime show. What is it? What is Super Bowl halftime like? Maybe 30 minutes? Maybe. Chances of me watching the Super Bowl are near 0. Can't remember the last one I watched. Tennessee Tornado for 2. Pro tip, each X page has a search bar. It does. I know. I thought I had it tagged. I didn't. I kept scrolling down. I'm like, well, I saw him just post this. Let me just keep going down until I find it. I realized it was 37 tweets back. Sean says for 2, if Katie Porter loses the governor race, make her Disney CEO. Oh, God. That is evil. It's probably, the next Disney CEO, I think Dana Walden, I think she's lost a lot of luster. Josh D'Amaro probably now looking like the lead dog, unless we get a surprise. But the problem is, the likelihood that they're going to bring in somebody from outside Disney, which is what they need to do, is pretty low. Not saying it's impossible, but I just don't see it. All right, guys. Appreciate y'all being here and hanging out. Hit the like button before you go. We had 250, I think, at peak here, and we didn't even have a lead in from the main channel, which is awesome because let me tell you what, 250 people watching a live show for a channel that's only got 2,200, 2,300 subscribers is ridiculously good. So we appreciate you being here, and of course for all the super chat support. Big help. Now, I will say this, what I love seeing is that the video clips that we make from these live shows are getting a lot of, I mean, like they're starting to really pick up. I think the last one we had was a week ago because we haven't done a show in like almost 2 weeks. I think went over 1,000 views, which again, on a channel that's only got 2,000 subs, that is extremely good. So we need your help to make that continue. So when we drop the clips, make sure y'all have notifications set for Renegade Nation. When y'all drop, or when we drop clips on there, or you see something from Renegade Nation go by, go check out the clip. You know, we usually try to keep the clips a few minutes. It's a big help, even if you caught it, you know, some of it on the live show. And I think as we put out more video content, more clips from it, you know, we'll probably start cleaning out some of the older live streams, just because they will clutter up a channel. They will change the way YouTube behaves as we see the video content start picking up. So, but appreciate you guys helping out. Just get your citizenship for Renegade Nation before we close the border. I see you, Tennessee. All right, guys, we really thank you. Thank you for hanging out. And we'll catch you on the next one. We'll try to do one, if not Sunday, depending on how much we have for the Sunday show on the main channel. If not Sunday, I may get into a rhythm where we do a Renegade Nation show like on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Might not be a bad day to kind of just sandwich those in there. It just depends on kind of the topics. So we'll check and see. But in any case, y'all have a good night. And we'll see you Sunday on the main channel for the big show.